Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Fpl Elma and today I'm going to be going through my Gameweek 26 wildcard draft. But before we get into that, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe, and if you're enjoying the content, make sure you leave a like. I know most of you are going to be using your wildcards for this game week, and so I'm going to be helping you guys in deciding who to pick if you're stuck here and there. And without wasting any more time, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with the goalkeepers and the defenders. So we're going to be having Raya and Sanchez in there. I know there's a conflict because they're going to both be having double game week 27. So it's a little bit tricky. But I think with the wildcard now, most people looking to bench boost in game week 29, with me included. I think it's better to go with Raya and Sanchez because they both have a very good double game week in game week 29. And that's how I'm going to be going with them. So and I think Brighton have a blank game week coming up, and so Raya will be able to slot in that position very easily, and that's why I think I'm going to be going for Raya and Sanchez. They've also been performing really well for their respective teams. Raya always makes a lot of saves, and Sanchez also keeps a lot of clean sheets at Brighton, so I think they're the best duo to have right now. You could argue for likes of Kepa, but Thiago Silva being injured at the moment, I'm not so keen on Chelsea defenders. So I think this is the right structure to go with at the moment. Then you can go to the defenders from Newcastle. We're going to be having Trippier and Botman there. I think they're just good defensively. Newcastle. Botman offers you that attacking threat from corners and set pieces, which Trippier puts in. You can just imagine Trippier assist, Botman goal, dreams of FPL players. So I think that's a very good duo to go for. And yeah, Newcastle are looking really good. And they're playing Man City in game week 26, so maybe you bench them and return them later. And I don't think they have, they have a double game week in game week 29, so it lines you perfectly for the bench boost as well. Then you have there Gabriel from Arsenal. Arsenal do not have any double game weeks until the end of the season, so that may be a little bit tricky to keep hold of the Arsenal players as they become less appealing, if I may say, for the FPL users. So, but I think for now you can just have Gabriel in there. Clean sheets, attacking returns, you name it, Gabriel can offer you that. Then I've gone for a slight differential with Matty Cash for 4.6 million. From the Aston Villa backline, he's the one who can offer you those attacking returns. You could argue for someone like Luka Dean and Alex Moreno, but there's a problem with that left back position because of the rotation risks between Luka Dean and Moreno. I think Cash is the most nailed on. You know, you can argue for Ashley Young, but I think Cash is the most nailed on when he's fit for the team. So I think Cash is a good option, slightly differential. If you don't want the differential option, you could just go for Mings, the nailed on option, centre back, always plays every game, never gets injured no matter what. But I think Cash just looks like a more differential option. Then you have Ben Mee, 5 million. And he's a very expensive defender to have in there for someone who is at centre back and not the wing backs. But I think Ben Mee offers you that attacking returns with his head threat from corners. So I think he's a very good option as well. And as you can see from my other considerations in that defense, we have Pinnock, who has also been really, really good for Brentford, just the same as Ben Mee, slightly cheaper. So if you don't have the funds to go for Ben Mee, you can look at someone like Pinnock or also Henry from who's more attacking since he plays as the right wing back or the left wing back. So I think he's a better option. Not a better option. He's a better option if you want to go cheap and you're less in funds. But I think Pinnock is also a very good option, and that looks like a very solid defense and goalkeeping for the wildcard team. Very solid, can offer you attacking returns, and they can also offer you the clean sheet points if needed. And then we can move on to the midfielders, where you can see you have Odegaard, Saka from Arsenal. I think Arsenal have been really, really good. They've been performing really well. They are on form. They're in form. They have one of the easiest line of fixtures as of now. Before I think game week 31 around there, I think they have the easiest fixtures on paper. So everyone will be a fool to not have three Arsenal players. And then I've gone for Odegaard and Saka. Odegaard is really, really well, not producing the attacking returns that was needed last week in the double game, scoring only one goal. But Saka has been performing day in, day out, and I think is a very good option. Could argue a case for maybe bringing in Martinelli back into the team, because he's also been performing really well, especially in that double game week. I think he got the most points out of all the Arsenal players. He's also one to look out for with Jesus coming back, and Odeg and Trossard also playing few games here and there. It's going to be slightly tricky to know who's going to start in that striking position. But I think Martinelli is going to be the most nailed on. And I think Odegaard and Saka are more nailed on than Martinelli, and that's why I think I'll be going for them. Then you have Solimatch and Mitoma from Brighton. Brighton have been playing really well. Mitoma and Match have been scoring the goals for them, and I think it's a very good partnership to have in there. And also Solimatch is coming back from injury, so that's one out to look out for. He might not start the minutes, but from the manager from the press conference yesterday said he's going to be okay to play, but we don't know if he's going to be off the bench or the full 90 minutes or around the 60th mark is going to be removed from the team. So if you're having those doubts, you could go for a safer option like McAllister, who is slightly more expensive. But if you want the fans, you can go for Solimatch, who I also think is a very good option. Mitoma doesn't need any introduction and explanation. You all know what he can do. He's very good from that left side. So I think Mitoma is also a nailed option from that Brighton team. Then you have Rashford, although they play a very tricky fixture in Liverpool at Anfield. I think Rashford is the man in form at the moment, and I think you just have to have him in your team. But if you think he's not going to score, you can also as well move on. As you can see from my other consideration there, Maddison. Leicester have not been playing really well, but they have easy fixtures coming up. They also have that double game week in game 29, which I think is one of the best double fixtures to have. First one to look out for, but Rashford for now is the most nailed on for me. So I thought Maddison is also someone in the back of my mind as I think of ways to play with that midfield. And then we can move on to the final part, which is the attackers, where we'll be having Kane in there for 11.7 million. Kane has been really efficient in front of goal, producing a lot of assists as well. So I think Kane is just someone you need to have in the team, especially if you're looking at having a Spurs player. Kane is the most nailed on, the better option than the other players. So I think Kane is a must-have, especially with the fixture run of Spurs. I know Spurs are up and hit or miss, but I think Kane just in front of goal is very, very good and someone I think I'm having. Then you have the most obvious pick, which is Haaland, and they play a tricky Newcastle fixture. But I think Man City are going to have the edge since they're chasing the title, and I think to have the edge, Haaland needs to be on his A game. That's why I think Haaland is also a nailed option. Then you have Ivan Toney, who's not been having the best of weeks with the betting allegations, him pleading guilty. But from what I've read on Twitter here and there, it looks like his court case is going to be around April. So I think we can be able to move freely between now and April as we wait for that court case. But so I think he's going to be playing the double game weeks and everything. I think it's also a very good option to have in there. And also, if you're targeting those doubles, you can also have Ivan Toney in there. Then the other consideration is João Felix from Chelsea. Chelsea, I've mentioned, have not been playing really well. But you can look at the likes of João Felix, who has been looking very bright, looking very good. And I think he's the most nailed on Chelsea player at the moment, especially with Mount being injured. I think you could look at him and bring him into the team if you want as well. Now, as we finish off the video, this is how the team is going to be lining up after the wild card. As you can see, it's a very solid team, 3-4-3, great defense, great midfield, and great attacking, and also a very strong bench. You could start Trippier if you want. I think Man City are just going to be better than them. We don't know the state of Newcastle because they just lost the finals to Manchester United. So it's one thing to look at, but for now I think I'm going to be benching Botman, Trippier and Solimatch, then Raya as well. But it's up to you to decide which keeper to start. I just think West Ham is an easier fixture to keep a clean sheet than Fulham is. But I don't know if Mitrovic is back or not. Maybe you could argue for Raya. But that is the team for the wild card. If the keeper is up to you, but I think the rest of the team is can speak itself. I think that's a very solid team for this game week, and I hope that it will be able to perform so they can just be proven right and go in glory for this week. So guys, that is the wildcard draft. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you've picked up some tips here and there. And if you enjoyed the content, make sure you leave a like. And I'll see you all guys later. Bye bye.